Let's welcome our mystery speaker, flying bass. Yay!
Scottish Chair, ladies and gentlemen, fellow members and most welcome guests. Is it not amazing what we take for granted these days? Including this. Not the liquid bit, mind you, but more this. Ice. Ice. Something so complex that it figures in chemistry textbook. Something so cool that it is the one thing we want on a hot, sunny summer day. And something that was once so expensive that it was a preserve of kings, queens, and emperors only. Ice. How can something so simple once have been so expensive? Let's go back in time 2 centuries ago. And imagine your home without a freezer, without a refrigerator, without all the modern conveniences. How could people do without these? Meat. How could you preserve meat? Well, salting it was the only answer. As for everything else, pickling and smoking were the only solutions. But surely, once there could be one solution around the corner to make ice less expensive. Our story begins on the Western Hemisphere, when a man on a hot summer day had an idea. The idea was simple but brilliant. Brilliant, but also extremely far-fetched. It was to ship ice all the way from cold and snowy New England to balmy Cuba, the West Indies and South America, and to make a lot of money in the process, selling ice to warm regions. And thus, the ice trade was born, and with it, a completely new industry that would be worth hundreds of millions of pounds, if not a lot more. Picture a scene in your head. A snowy winter wonderland with pine trees on the horizon and snow-capped mountains, reindeers, the full lot, and in the middle of it, a lake. A frozen lake that is a hive of activity, humming with work as men, beasts and machine are hacking away at the ice and cutting it in slabs with special design tools that are square meter big. Slab that will pile atop one another into mountains that will then be shipped off somewhere else. They're effectively emptying a lake of its solid contents. And this scene could take place in New England, or in the case of the people supplying ice to London, in Norway. Cold Norway, that would make a living selling ice to Londoners, selling ice to Britain. By the end of the 19th century, this trade was worth 1 million tons every single year. It is difficult nowadays to actually imagine the consequence of ice becoming cheap for the masses, for the first time in history, for richer, for poorer. Because it immediately sprang up new industries and new commodity. That seems very familiar to us today in our modern day-to-day life. But back then, were yet to be invented. Refrigerated ships and trade to ship meat and produce from one end of the earth to another, like frozen lambs from New Zealand all the way back home to the United Kingdom. New industries as well. The ice box manufacturing. Picture a chest of drawer, where one chest is full of produce and the other chest is full of ice that you would purchase every day or every 2 days to keep your good coats. The ancestors of today's refrigerator. And last but not least, new industries, cold beer. soda, and last but certainly not least, ice cream becoming popular to everyone for the first time in history. And yet, with all these new industries, demand was growing and outstripping the available supply. So what was the solution in southern Norway? The solution was simple and yet amazing: building artificial lakes that would freeze over in the winter and then be hacked away one step at a time and shipped and sold wholesale in the streets of London and of other great British cities. Can you just imagine it? Emptying lakes, hacking it away in parts, and selling their contents wholesale in the street. People made fortunes from this. Now, every good thing must come to an end, and every industry can be a victim or can be affected by development. And the very forces that make this new industry, this new ice trade possible, would be the very forces that would lead to its demise. Industrialization, the rise of machines, the rise of mechanization. A refrigerator, a freezer, is actually quite a simple piece of machinery in a way that works with that one principle: sucking heat from the outside by transforming a liquid into a gas. When this liquid is ammonia, you can do it at room temperature. And already by the mid-19th century, the first ice machines were built. A few decades hence, they will become ever more reliable, ever cheaper. And in the heights of its apogee, the ice trade would collapse, becoming a victim of the machine age. Some people say that history is written by a victor, and in this case the victors are General Electric and the Frigidaire company, who first invented gas-fired refrigerators and later on the electric models, that would then write this history and throw these fascinating tidbits of history, this ice trade, into the dustbin of history. But this stands as a testament to the power of entrepreneurship and ingenuity of people who said, people are hot, they want to be kept cool. Let's meet the needs by moving lakes from one country to another. The next time you have an ice cream or sip on a cold beer on a hot summer day, remember the men who did this. Remember the men who moved lakes from one country to another. Remember the Icemen.